Hey, what's going on, man? We're back at it. Another day. Let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell you something that's very disturbing. Look here. Man, you know, I'm at work, doing my thing, working hard, doing my paperwork. And I don't know about where you work at, but there's always gossip, what's going on. Always things, changes, and everything that's going on at the workplace. You don't know who I am? Jermaine. People call me Jay. You know what I'm saying? Currently I'm a food service delivery driver. Drive a Class A, pulling a 48-footer, and we deliver groceries all night long. Anywhere from 8 to 15, 16 stops. Anywhere from 800 up to 1,570 cases. A lot of our routes are 2 persons, but we also have what we call solo routes. They're local. So, realize, like, when you get in this industry, the warehouse, I'm going to tell you right now, for the most part, it's going to make you mad. This job is either going to make you or break you. A lot of people say, man, it's physical, it's taxing my body. Yeah, in the beginning. Once your body get used to it, it becomes all mental. When I started this job 9 years ago in 2016, like you said, it was all mental. I had to get used to everything. You know, learning how, what the cases look like, learning how to deliver, all that stuff. Running up and down the ramp with a 2-wheeler hand cart, you know what I'm saying? So, the thing is like, all right, fast forward today, there's changes going on. And it's like, the changes in the employee eyes is not for the good. It's changes for good for the company. What I mean is, all right, so we used to get paid for, they call it miscellaneous pay, which we're still getting paid. Miscellaneous pay, basically, pre-trip, post-trip, if you got to go get fuel before you start the route, you know, all this. They put everything within that 1 hour. So you get an hour of that, which is our hourly rate for miscellaneous pay or breakdown pay is $18.75. So last few years, you get this hour. So you do your pre-trip, post-trip, that's an hour. Now, if you have a breakdown pay, you get a breakdown, now you're getting paid hourly. It's been going on for years. Well, I was talking to an individual the other day, and I was venting him like, man, the other day I had a really bad load where I had to move my 8th stop, the whole entire 8th stop, all the dry goods, to find my 7th stop, the rest of the dry goods. You know what I'm saying? It's the way it was loaded. So normally you'll put down, you request an extra hour for moving all those cases, right? And they'll pay you. Well, when I got back to the yard, went to the manager, he read what I put down, I told him, even though I got proof what I did, he said, man, sorry to say, but I can no longer pay you for that moving cases, that many cases, like a half a pallet. I can't pay you anymore. He said, man, it's coming all the way up. It's going all the way up to the chain of command, corporate. They say no more paying for that. I'm like, wow. I'm like, all right, whatever. Then I find out that eventually they're gonna stop paying us for the miscellaneous pay. So, you know, talking to a couple guys, they were all upset. They said, oh, man, it's wrong. But then I also thought about, I said, you know, if you talk to a lot of these guys that's been in the company since it opened back in, I think, 2000, they'll tell you moving cases, whether if it's a half a pallet or a pallet, to get to what you need, they never got extra money. They'll tell you when they did a pre-trip, post-trip, they never got extra money. The only time they got paid extra money on the hour was breakdown pay. And that's legitimate. So I'm like, I was telling the guys, they're like, man, that's bull crap. That's way back in the day. I said, but you got to think about it. All the money that they're dishing out, what they would call free money, weekly, they're dishing out a lot of money. You know, then you have guys that abuse the situation, saying that, man, I had to move this pallet to get to that, this and that. When technically, they might have moved maybe 5 or 10 cases. And they're abusing the system. So that's what happens. When you abuse the system, you got a bunch of people that abuse the system, and they catch on, the corporation is going to slice it. No more. At the end of the day, you can get mad. You can say what's right, what's not. But it's a business. It's a corporation. Change comes all the way across the board. Always across the board. So if you know these changes are going on, you deal with it. Or you can leave, go to another food service company, and you might not get no extra pay as far as whatever goes on. So individuals, guys, girls, you got to get in the habit and the motion of change. When these corporations are coming in and say, hey, starting blase, we're no longer paying this, we're no longer paying that, you can't get upset. Excuse me. I mean, you can, but that ain't gonna do nothing. Come in, do your job, do it the right way, go home. Stop so much dwelling on the changes in the company. A company, their trajectory is to make money, not keep dishing out unnecessary money that they know that can be cut. As long as they're not cutting your salary, you should be all right. You know, that's why I tell some of you guys, the minute they start cutting the salary, the component pay, then you have a problem. But I also was telling one of the coworkers, I said, you know what? If you was financially stable, money saved up, all your expenses saved up for 6 months to a year or more, you have no debt. When I mean no debt, credit card, personal loan, student loan, car loans. When you have none of that, whatever changes go on in the company, it don't really affect you, because at the end of the day, you good. So think about that, folks. As you're working your job and they start cutting back on certain things that they have been paying out for many, many, many years, always look at it this way. When they're paying out a lot of money and this and that miscellaneous pay, always have in your mind, it ain't gonna stay that way forever. It's always gonna come to a breaking point where they say, we gotta cut back. I just like with the fuel costs. Diesel is like $5 and change here in Florida. they sent an email. They put an email, a memo out telling all the local drivers to come back and fill up on site. Do not fill up out off site. The only ones that can fill up off site is the team drivers that are going far. Miami, Key West, Alabama, Tallahassee, the ones that's going far. But if you're a local up to 200 miles, we need you to come back and fill up on site because it's a lot cheaper. Making a change. You're gonna get mad because, oh man, that's stupid. No, making a change. So as these companies make changes and cut back on things, you as an individual have to make changes too to your finances. If you have the opportunity to cut back on things, cut back on things. If you got the opportunity to work extra hours, do it so you can get ahead. But don't sit back and complain about stuff that they're taking away, because they're doing it for a business aspect, So keep your head up, and like I said, whatever change go on, be positive, and go from there. Y'all have a blessed day. I'm out. Peace.